Try to keep warm that way. Thank you all so much for coming to our 7th weekly Resistance Tuesday rally. And thank you for coming out in this terrible weather today. We got a great program for you today. You may have already noticed something's different. We've got a real mic. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Rachel. So I still can't get over it. You don't have to hold a bullhorn. This is fantastic. The luxury. So we've got a great program today. Please remember to sign in. We do have the sign-in sheet floating around. We've got Tiffany Hankins who's the Executive Director for NARAL Pro-Choice Washington here with us today, so we're really excited to have her. And we've got a special musical guest, Tae Phoenix, who will sing a couple songs for us and try and keep our energy up despite this weather today. So there's also a flyer being passed around for Ezra Levin's event tonight at Seattle Town Hall. He's the Executive Director of the National Indivisible movement, so if you can make that, it's at 6:30 tonight. Should be really interesting.
You need tickets.
Yeah. You do need tickets. I think $5 each on brown paper tickets.
Yeah, brown.
I can get those online. I think that just goes to cover the cost of the venue. So without further ado, Tiffany Hankins. Tiffany, like I mentioned, is the Executive Director since January 2017 of NARAL Pro-Choice Washington. And she's also volunteered with the CARE Project, which is a regional abortion fund in the Pacific Northwest for 6 years. She recently helped build a partnership between these organizations to expand a program to provide lodging and transportation for people traveling to the Seattle area for an abortion. She grew up on the Gulf Coast and has experienced firsthand regional disparities in accessing timely reproductive health care. She hit the Westward Trail in 2008 and now lives in Seattle with her cat Kiki. So let's give her a big round of applause for coming to us today.
Thank you, and thank you to everyone for coming out. This, this weather. I think a lot of people would look at us here in Seattle and say, like, how are you keeping this resistance going with this? But the rain's never stopped us, and it's not going to stop us now. Now that it's more important than ever that we show up and be here and be loud. So I'm going to keep my comments brief because I know that we've got a big program today. One thing I wanted to, I also have to get back to our office because we are putting together a day of action in Olympia tomorrow. NARAL Pro-Choice Washington is a grassroots network of tens of thousands of people throughout the state of Washington. And so we are going to be coming together in Olympia on International Women's Day. Many people will be striking for a day without women tomorrow, and we're going to be in Olympia putting on pressure to our state lawmakers, just the same way we need to put pressure on to our federal lawmakers to be bold and to take stronger stance. Now is not the time for compromising. Now is not the time for them to just sit down and accept what we're seeing from this administration. It's time for us to be loud and be bold and fight back. And to that end, I wanted to share with you a little bit of a letter that actually was sent. NARAL Pro-Choice America and many other groups sent a letter to the Democratic Senator leadership in D.C. this week. And so I'll just read the pieces of that. Dear Democratic Senators, it has been just over 1 month since President Trump nominated Judge Neil Gorsuch to the U.S. Supreme Court. During that time, Democrats have failed to demonstrate a strong, unified resistance to this nominee, despite the fact that he is an ultra-conservative jurist who will undermine our basic freedoms and threaten the independence of the federal judiciary. We need you to do better.
All right.
He is not a mainstream nominee. He is more conservative than Justice Scalia, has an extreme ideological agenda supported by some of the most dangerous ultra-conservative and white nationalist groups, and has failed to protect everyday Americans' constitutional rights in favor of propping up corporations and special interests. As a judge, Gorsuch opposed reproductive freedom and women's rights, LGBT rights, civil rights, workers' rights, immigrant rights, disability rights, environmental protections, and sought to increase the influence of corporate money in our elections. Imagine how much damage he could do with a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court. Because of this, We call on Democratic senators, including Senators Cantwell and Senators Murray, to immediately make clear your opposition to this nominee and insist that Gorsuch's nomination, like previous nominees to the Supreme Court, require 60 votes. His record is clear. Americans just like us, just like you, are marching in the streets demanding that our government stand up for our democratic ideals. And we need you, senators, to stand with us now to fight and preserve the American dream for all of us, to defend Roe versus Wade. Here in Washington, we have always voted to defend a woman's right to choose. Since 1970, at the ballot box, we upheld a woman's right to choose. And we are not going back. Not here, not in DC. We are here. We're going to be fighting every single day, every single week. And thank you all so very much for being the resistance and being the front line right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tiffany. That's why we're out here today, you know, because we feel that our senators can do better. Yeah. Senators Murray and Senator Cantwell can do better. They can be bold and they can be clear in opposing someone like Neil Gorsuch, who, as Tiffany said, is completely unqualified to sit on the Supreme Court. And so we want to see that kind of leadership from them. Next up, do we have Sally Stroud? There you are. Come on up, Sally.
Can you hear me? There have been allegations. Okay. There have been allegations for months that the Russians, on the orders of Putin, were actively working to influence the outcome of the presidential election. Putin wants a U.S. president who is more inclined to deal favorably with Russia, and lift the sanctions Obama placed, and he also wants to undermine the U.S. democracy. In other words, Putin wants a puppet. And guess who is his puppet? Trump. Trump is Putin's puppet. 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 Jeff Sessions was an early supporter of Trump. As a key loyalist, he was a senior advisor on politics, national security, and policy. In his confirmation...
You just lose the mic?
Can you hear it now?
No.
We're experiencing technical difficulties.
Trump did it! Trump did it!
No, I think Obama wiretapped it.
I do have the megaphone if we need it.
Maybe the rain did again.
Well, it was great while it lasted.
New batteries.
No worries, guys. Hey, you guys, we outlasted the batteries. All right. Check.
Oh.
Okay, can you hear me? Yes. Okay. As I was saying, Jeff Sessions was an early supporter of Trump. As a key loyalist, he was a senior advisor to Trump on politics, national security, and policy. In his confirmation hearing in January to become Attorney General, Senator Al Franken asked him what he would do as Attorney General if there was any evidence that anyone affiliated with the Trump campaign had communicated with the Russian government during the campaign. Sessions said, "I have been called a surrogate at a time or two in the campaign, and I did not have communications with the Russians, and I'm unable to comment on it." That was his official response in his confirmation hearing.
Liar.
Liar. So, however, the Washington Post over a week ago revealed that Sessions did meet with Ambassador Kislyak twice, once at the Republican convention and another time in Sessions' office. Kislyak is the Russian ambassador to the U.S., and U.S. intelligence has alleged that he is one of Russia's top spies and spy recruiters. So Sessions is a liar! Sessions is a liar! Sessions is a liar! Sessions is a liar! Now, Sessions is saying that he was correct in saying he didn't have communications with the Russians, as he never met any Russian officials to discuss details of the campaign, that he was meeting in his capacity as a senator. He also said he felt his answers in the confirmation hearing were responsive, and since no one suggested otherwise, there was no need for a supplemental answer. In other words, no one directly asked him if he was communicating with the Russians. So Sessions is a liar. Sessions is a liar. Sessions is a liar. Sessions is a liar. After the Washington Post story broke, Sessions bowed to pressure and recused himself from any Justice Department investigations involving a Trump campaign. That's what he said, the Trump campaign. Now, Attorney General Sessions, under oath about conversations with Russian officials during the campaign, his recusal is not enough. As Attorney General, he is the chief law enforcer of the United States. He cannot uphold the law if he can't follow the law. Sessions must resign, and Sessions must resign. Sessions must resign. Sessions must resign. And we need an independent, bipartisan investigation into Trump's ties to Russia and into Sessions. We need an investigation. We need an investigation. We need an investigation. We need an investigation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sally. So we've got our third and final speaker, Rachel Greenlee, who will be talking about Trump's distractions in this business conflict. And then we'll move on to the musical performance.
Should I use this one?
Yeah. Give it a shot.
Test, test. Perfect. So first of all, I want you guys to give yourself a round of applause because we resist in the sunshine, but we also resist in the rain. Right? So thank you for taking the time to come out here today. I want to talk to you about distraction. And the reason I want to is because we have a president now who uses Twitter, and he uses it to the advantage to take people's attention away from the issues. So I'd like to give one example of that we've all experienced over the last month. Do you remember when Trump tweeted that 3 million illegal immigrants voted in the election? Yes, and then a man named Greg Phillips, he was Trump's source for this information. He went on all of the TV shows and said he had the information. He wasn't going to share it yet, but he would share it soon. That was late January. Here we are now in March. Nothing was shared, and that took up media headlines for at least 2 weeks during January. So now he's saying what? He's saying Obama has tapped his phones. And, you know, honestly, I haven't stopped talking about it. The media hasn't stopped talking about it. So once again, Trump is using distraction to keep away from the real issues. And the real issues, you are all holding signs that tell us what the real issues are. Sally just talked about Sessions and the ties to Russia. That is a real issue. And Trump's business ties and the fact that we have not seen his taxes, which would tell us a lot about where his money lies, is an issue. So I want to tell you one story about why we can't get distracted, why we can't let this go, why we need to show up in the rain and demand an independent investigation. So Adam Davidson is a writer for The New Yorker, an investigative writer. And he did a piece that was featured on Rachel Maddow last night and is in a lot of the papers today. So the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act from 1977 forbids American companies from rewarding foreign government officials in exchange for material benefit or preferential treatment. Here's what Donald Trump is quoted as saying about this law in 2012. This is his quote. "Every other country goes into these places and they do what they have to do. It's a horrible law and it should be changed. If American companies refuse to give bribes, you'll do business nowhere." That's his point of view on this act. So the story that has come out in The New Yorker this week is about Azerbaijan, and this former Soviet republic is known as a repressive and corrupt country. And Trump licensed his name to build a hotel there and be a consult on the project. And in fact, Ivanka Instagrammed from the construction site in 2014 being there doing consultations. A month after the election, Trump severed his ties to this project. And it is being reported that Trump's hotel project may have been a front for the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. That sounds pretty preposterous, but how it all links up is that he did a deal with government officials who have ties to the IRG, which is a terrorist organization around the world. And they have to funnel money in other ways because of the sanctions in Iran. Now, some of you in this audience have, of course, heard of McCarthyism and maybe lived through the McCarthy era. And what we don't want to do is indicate or repeat accusations that are not true. All we ask for is an independent investigation to understand if this is true. Because the reality is, this may sound like a spy novel, but it doesn't smell right. And we know Trump has proven again and again that he puts his pocketbook ahead of ethics. It needs to be investigated. The ties to Russia need to be investigated. Senator Sherrod Brown, who is the top Democrat on the Banking Committee, has written to the Treasury Department and called for an investigation on this matter. We need to see Trump's taxes. Yes. We need to keep digging into Russia. Yes. We need to know if Trump violated the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Yes. We cannot let his tweets distract us. No. We cannot let his outrageous claims distract us. No. So I ask you, are we going to get distracted? No. Are we going to stay engaged? Yes. In the rain? Yes. In the sun? Yes. Absolutely. Because this is what democracy looks like. So now, I am so excited that for the first time at these rallies, we have a musician, a talented musician, to join us and warm us up with her talent. We have Tae Phoenix here to join us. Tae is a local artist, but she's internationally known. And she has been called, get my notes for you here, my wet notes. She's been called tremendous by Blues Magazine, phenomenal by Marty Reamer. She is known for elaborate and educated songwriting, and you can also see her in April in the Seattle Musical Theater's reproduction of Kiss Me, Kate. So we're very excited today to have Tae Phoenix in the house. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Thanks, you guys. I'm going to try to do my best with slippery fingers. Okay. Waiting for the guitar input. Just gonna keep strumming a D chord until they tell me they're ready for me. Oh gosh, you're so kind. We've actually got an official umbrella holder, but I really appreciate it.
We're organized.
Yeah, these guys are on top of it. I'm actually, dude, Seattle Indivisible. Like, can we just get a round of applause for them? Holy cow, like they've become such a center of gravity for this movement so quickly in Seattle. I've just been really, really impressed and I'm so excited to be out here. Can you guys hear my guitar? Can you hear it? Okay, I'm just gonna get started then. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us and above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one. Well, I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one, as one, as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. Brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one. Well, I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one, as one, as one, as one, as one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one.
Thank you. So this, one of the most important pieces of this movement is intersectionality. And if you don't know what that is yet, I encourage you to Google it because it's really crucial. We have to stick together, and that means listening to marginalized groups. It means understanding their issues. It means centering the issues that they're bringing up. And it means reaching out. It means going to Black Lives Matter protests. It means all of the above. And so this song is about that at a fundamental level. It's called If They Come For You, I'll Be There. Hello, neighbor. Hello, friend. We didn't think that the story would end this way. We didn't think we'd have to fight. We really thought it would all be alright. But it's not enough to say that love is the answer and offer a prayer, 'cause we've seen all this before and we know where it can go. So if they come for you, I'll be there, I'll be there. It starts with words, it starts with fear. It starts with hearing only what we want to hear. Please don't leave me, don't go back to sleep. I really need your voice, I need your ear, I need you to see that it's not enough to say that love is the answer and offer a prayer. 'Cause we've seen all this before and we know where it can go. So if they come for you, I'll be there, I'll be there. My darker sisters needed me, but wrapped up in my skin I stayed at home, while they took their grace to the battlefield. At the front of this gathering storm, warning, it's not enough to say that love is the answer and offer a prayer. 'Cause we've seen all this before and we know where it can go. So if they come for you, I'll be there. Even though I want to run away, run away, run away from this everlasting thing. Yeah, I want to run away, obey and swallow all these tears. Yeah, I want to run away, but I can't today. 'Cause I say, hey, we can see what's coming down the road.
hey, but none of us has to fight alone. Hey, hey, 'cause together we're the answer to our prayers. Hey, hey. And if they come for you, I'll be there. So if they come for you, I'll be there. And if they come for you, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Thank you, you guys. You guys have been fantastic. Thanks so much for Seattle Indivisible for having me, and have a great rest of your day.
Let's give Tae another huge round of applause on this rainy day. So, let's wrap up the outdoor portion so we can all go inside and get warm and get dry. I just wanted to say thank you to all of our speakers today, especially Tiffany Hankins for coming from NARAL, sharing with us. Let's give them all another round of applause. So, I just wanted to bring up Rachel here for a moment. I will be traveling for a bit coming up, so I won't be here. I will be defending my dissertation up in Chicago. Good luck. Thank you. So we are really, really lucky to have Rachel step up and host upcoming rallies. And yeah, so I just wanted to introduce you guys to her. You've all seen her around already, and she's wonderful. And we're gonna keep the rally